We may have reached the final destination for the superhero genre, much in the way that once upon a time, Westerns did. Now, what will we be watching on the big screen? What will the studios go to instead? Well, it could be our furry friends, talking animals, because it's all about Zootopia. Zootopia 2 just beat the pants off Superman and Fantastic Four, and it did so at the box office in less than 2 weeks. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is your pal Pro, and we're here to go where others may not. Talking about how the superhero genre, once very hot, is now down the drain. Sorry to rain on that parade, but it's all about talking cute animals. Milo and Otis, Oliver and company, all of the above, says every single studio on planet Earth chasing after those Beijing bucks. We'll tell you why and what Zootopia is doing. My oh my, it's flying off the shelves, if you can say it that way, in China. All right, folks, take a look at this. It is out of thatparkplace.com, the website that if you're not yet bookmarked to it, well, you should be. Zootopia 2 has already surpassed Superman, the 2025 James Gunn movie, at the global box office, and it did so in 1 week. Oh my. Oh my. And guess what else, folks? Breaking. Just before we started to do this segment, Zootopia 2 has also passed Fantastic Four first steps at the global box office, and it did so in a week and a half. Move over, superheroes, the article says. The next big entertainment era may have less capes and a whole lot more talking cartoon animals. It's the 1930s all over again. In a stunning display of box office dominance, Zootopia 2 has already surpassed the global earnings of Superman, and it accomplished this feat in just 1 week. The achievement is remarkable, not only for the speed at which Disney's animated sequel climbed the charts, but also for what it signals in an entertainment landscape increasingly defined by uncertainty. Folks, what you can't see is outside of this, that arm right there belongs to a talking anthropomorphic animal. That's Nick Wilde up there slamming Superman into concrete. While Superman entered 2025 as one of the year's most heavily marketed and culturally anticipated tentpole releases, promising the revitalization of a storied DC franchise, its box office performance has plateaued faster than industry observers expected. In contrast, Zootopia 2 has emerged as a rare, across-the-board juggernaut, delivering explosive turnout domestically and performing especially well in major overseas markets where animated films, family films, traditionally thrive. This film is exploding in China. The article goes on to talk about it. Panel, I don't know why you would spend $500 million, which we're finding out is how much it costs to make these superhero movies. I don't know why you would spend $500 million, and sometimes even above that, to make movies that are barely going to break even when you can make for $200 million talking animal movies and get them over to China and make, crazy amounts of cash. Get the Chi-Com money. Zootopia 2 might make $2 billion. Lion King and Mufasa made ungodly amounts of cash over in Beijing. So I think we can expect now talking animals from here to eternity, as long as Hollywood thinks it's going to make them cash. Mo, what say you when it comes to the new focus? Have we exited the superhero genre era, and are we going into something else?
I believe that is up to seeing how Doomsday does. I think it is definitely on its way out like every other genre. I think if it's a good movie, we still get Westerns nowadays, good Westerns every so often. But I believe that is certainly on its way out. Animation's never out. It's just, can we get it good? Can we reach a broad audience? And I think with superhero movies, they've just been 10 times bitten, and now we're twice shy, 3 times shy, and we're just done with it. We just know it's going to be garbage, and a lot of the last animated movies have went over well with the audience. So now that goodwill is returning. And I think that's why those movies are doing so well, because they know that the messaging is kind of on its way out, or in some ways completely out. They're actually actively removing it, as we found out from Elio. That didn't do well, but they know it's out now. Yeah. So I think that the families want to be able to take them, and people themselves want to be able to go to a movie where they know that's going to be safe and they won't have to explain stuff later on. And
I'll tell you this too. They've been trying to say that the Western press, the dinosaurs, they've been trying to say that Zootopia 2 is about colonialism and it's about stopping patriarchal power structure. Listen, it's a bunch of nonsense. I saw the movie. It's about as conservative as you can get, and that's why it's doing what it's doing in China, which is about as socially conservative as you can get. This is a tremendous phenomenon, folks. Look at these numbers. I don't know of any time we've ever seen this, ever. This is essentially a Chinese movie. $173 million so far at the domestic box office. $468 million out of the international, more than $300 million of that out of China. And I'm not trying to disparage the film. It's actually underperforming expectations domestically. Again, I'm not trying to disparage it in any way, and it may come back up again for Christmas. But it's actually trailing the expectations according to the projections from the chart here out of thenumbers.com. Domestically, not doing as well as they would hope for. But internationally, Disney has found lightning in a bottle, and it's located in Shanghai. And I think they're going to ride this high. I think Zootopia 3, 4, and 5 are on the way rapidly. And I think that part of the equation for superhero films back in the day was that they were going to get them into China, and they did exceedingly well in China. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. They haven't had a good hit since Endgame. This is a big one, and I would be shocked if they're not mining every property they have that features talking animals. I'm talking Milo and Otis. I know that's not Disney. I'm talking Homeward Bound. I'm talking Oliver and Company. I'm talking about The Jungle Book. Do it again. Doesn't matter. Anything they can get that has talking animals in it, do it, do it, do it.
Here is the cat. I don't love that idea, but I think maybe even in China, the oversaturation of the superhero genre in general, where they thought they could just keep doing it and it would return money no matter what they did, is finally the spell has been broken, and maybe it'll be good if it can bookend it with Avengers Doomsday and then the other one, and then just be done with it. But if it's talking animals that we're heading over to,
what if you combine them together? Talking animal superheroes. We're going to do Super Kitties and Paw Patrol. Only they've grown up now. Going to China.
No,
Lauren, you seem excited.
Well, I am curious because I don't think it's just talking animals. What is it about this movie specifically that appealed to China that others have not? Because I understand they've toned down on the woke stuff, but there had to be something else here that was appealing to the Chinese market, and I have not yet heard what that is.
So this is very fascinating. And part of this is just as simple as China loves talking animal movies, and I don't quite get it. But if you go back and you look at how Lion King in 2019 performed in China, it's insane. You go look at how Mufasa did. It's bizarre. You got this one. There's something to it. But the other thing that I don't quite get, Zootopia 2 is clearly written in ways that they localize it to the different markets it goes to. Like they even switch out the characters that play the anchors on the newscast for Zootopia. In China, it's a panda bear, of course. So who are the stars of Zootopia 2 in China? I don't know. What are the jokes that are landing over there that simply cannot be taken literally from English because it wouldn't work, because it wouldn't be a joke, because it's English dependent? I don't know. But I can tell you this. I have heard from people that we talk to in and around Disney that the company is likely over this month working on getting reports of what worked, what didn't, how did it, and they're going to try to replicate this, I think, with sequels and with other movies that they're going to bring out. And I mean, I'm halfway joking about Oliver and Company. If there's a talking animal, Mr. Ed in China could happen. Anything and everything is on the table to try to capitalize on this.
If this is the case, then the next thing that all of these movie studios need to be looking at doing is a story about Sun Wukong. Because if you could pull that off and be respectful to the mythology, that's something that would be a big hit there.
You're exactly right. That's the Monkey King story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the video game. It's made tons of money, the Black Myth Wukong. Yeah. Actually,
that's all. Listen, I just need somebody to tell me that's happening at Disney, because I bet that's a 99% chance one of these big studios is going to make that. Maybe multiple big studios are going to make that and send that into China to see how they do. And one of the reasons they got to do that is because nothing has been hitting in China whatsoever. They had almost given up on China completely. So this and Avatar, they're waiting to see how they perform in China to see, do they continue their efforts to get into Beijing? Up until now, it was almost DOA, every studio's attempts. And they got a spark of life back again. They're going to chase it. And why will they chase China, ladies and gentlemen? Even with the 20% return from every dollar that's made in China, 20% comes back to the studio. Why will they continue to chase it? Because the middle class of China is bigger than the upper, middle, and lower class of the United States completely. There are more English speakers in China than there are in the United States, simply because China has more than 1 billion people in it, and plenty of them speak English as a second language. So it's a huge country. And Disney and these other studios, they want that China money. They want the Beijing bucks. And they think they found a way to do it. Maybe with animals, rabbits, foxes, I don't know. Maybe even deer and bucks. We'll see, folks. But truckload after truckload of cash coming in from China, and Disney wants more of that. And yet again, folks, we have come to the end. But what a video it has been, and we hope you agree. Folks, if you had a good time with us, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. We care about your thoughts. Folks, we also want to invite you to partake in thatparkplace.com. Of course, www. You get the idea. Thatparkplace.com. It is the website telling the truth, and it is a rising star across the web for pop culture news coverage and analysis. Go over there and bookmark it today. Folks, we're bookmarking you as a great guest that we appreciate. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, folks, you better believe it, keep having fun.